What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we have two very bright looks to do. Today I'm going to do two looks with the new Melt Radioactive palette. This palette is sort of a re-release, but not exactly. So these four shades here were a part of the original Melt Radioactive stack, and they have since added these four shades to go along with it and put it in palette form. I never got my hands on the Melt Radioactive stack, so I don't have that to make a comparison for you guys today, so I apologize for that. But also, I was really excited to get this because I always kind of felt like I missed out on that stack. Because this is a smaller palette, I did two looks today instead of three, and I tried to make one of them more complex and the second one a little bit more simple. That way, if you are going to recreate them, then maybe you have more options. I'm also having an absolute time of it with a watery eye. It's not like the most watery, it's just like a little bit watery, but it will not stop. I had to redo the second look and fix it up, and it was like a whole thing, so you guys will see when we get there. But it did give me some thoughts on some of the shades in the palette and how they perform, so we will get to that at the end. I will leave a timestamp down below if you want to jump to the review. Also, can we talk about the color of my sweater right now? This is from American Eagle, and I am obsessed with it. I have never been big into like neon and lime greens, but right now I'm seeing a lot of this like chartreuse, like exorcist puke green happening, and I'm just so into it for fall. I don't know why. I never would have been in years past, but it's just got me right now. Before we get started, please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking just a quick second to do that, because it's very helpful to me and I very much appreciate it. And if you're on the new side around here and you haven't yet subscribed, I would love to take this moment to encourage you to do that, because I think it would be helpful to you. I think that you'd have some fun. I think that it would be easier for you to watch my videos if you did that. I think that's all we need to talk about before we get started, and I am gonna go and dissect my own eyeball and figure out why it keeps watering like this. So let's just jump into look number one with the Melt Radioactive palette. Okay, so here is the Radioactive palette. I didn't realize until I got it in my hands that this is like a subtle holographic cover. Here's what the inside looks like. And to start look number one, I'm going to pick up my BH number 6 brush, and I'm going to begin by going into the color Xenon. I'm gonna do multiple colors around the crease before I cut it, so I'm just gonna start by dabbing that right around the inner corner. Holy crap, that is pigmented. I'm also dabbing that up real close to the eyebrow because I don't know, I feel like being a little bit extra with this look, so screw it, that's what we're gonna do. I was under the impression that all of these shades were matte, but they're actually like a satin that reads as a bit of a matte. I'm not sure why that is, but it seems to work well, so it doesn't bother me. Next, I'm gonna clean off my brush and go into the shade Arsenic. I'm gonna place that next to Xenon, blend those two together in a second as well. And on a BH number 7 brush, which is a similar shape but smaller, I'm gonna go into the shade Neon, and I'm gonna place that on the outer portion of where we put down Xenon, because I don't know, man. I'm just looking to like really blow out this color today. I'm so impressed so far by these colors, like I'm a little shook. I'm gonna blend over the top edge of Arsenic to soften it a bit, and then I'm gonna build up more of that color. And on that same BH number 7 brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Meltdown. I'm gonna start by packing that on the outer corner of the eye, and then I'm also gonna bring it up into the crease to meet where we put those other colors and start building kind of like a winged out soft shape with that. And to start using that to deepen up the outer portion of my crease, I'm going to switch to my Sigma E36 brush and go back into Meltdown. That way we're not bringing it up and covering up too much of Arsenic, but we're still getting that depth from that darker shade. Now that those colors are down, I'm going to grab a really light concealer and create a little bit of a cut on the inner corner to just give us a little bit more space to play with. I'm using my NABLA Cut Crease Maker brush as usual. And I'm only cutting the inner half, and I'm not bringing it up super duper high today. I'm gonna go into the shade Uranium on a MAC 242S brush. Just any flat packing brush will do. Each one of these shades is kind of blowing my mind more than the last. I was not expecting that to be so smooth and so like pastel purple. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Hazmat. I'm going to do the same thing using the same brush, but just in the area that we still have open. I'm gonna take this NABLA pointed crease brush just because it's smaller, and I'm gonna go back into the color Uranium, and I'm gonna tap that over where those two shades meet to just blend it together. I'm gonna go back into the shade Meltdown again on my Sigma E36 brush, and I'm gonna use that just to deepen up that outer corner again. I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. I'm gonna conceal and powder, and then we will move on to the lower lash line. I'm gonna pick up a pencil brush, and I'm gonna go back into the deepest teal shade Meltdown. Sweep that under my lower lash line. I'm gonna blend the edge of that out with a clean brush. For my waterline, I want to brighten it up, but I also want to pick up the yellowish shades that we put up here. Since there's quite a bit less of that kind of a yellow look going on, I thought it'd be cool to pick up those shades in the waterline. So I'm going to pick up my ColourPop punch pencil again. I know I've used this one a lot lately, but just been one of those times. Yellow just seems to make sense. For my inner corner, I want to add something very bright and metallic, and I want to pick up those purple shades. I use my Stila White Lie Liquid Shadow in the shade Lilac Legend, a staple around here, and just use that as an inner corner highlight. I'm going to bring a little bit of it up over the purple shadow too. All right, lashes are on, and now I want to add a lip to this look, and I'm thinking that for this, I want to keep it pretty simple. I want to do a juicy nude lip, but I don't want to add any shimmer. So I'm going to line my lips with one of my favorite pencils. This is the Body Language lip pencil from NABLA. Look how short it's gotten. Oh my God. I'm going to just very, very lightly highlight the center of it with the Bite Beauty French Press Gloss in the shade Flat White. This is a very, very light shade. Usually I only use like little dabs of it because it's a little too light for the color of my lips. It just looks weird all by itself, but in the center over something else, delicious. And this is the first look. I'm just taking this off to start the next look, and I wanted to show you guys, for some reason, I think it's the dark purple where I put that down stained so much. Now, I always say I don't really give a crap if makeup stains my eyes because it's just part of my life. It's part of what I deal with doing this day to day. A lot of eyeshadow stain, but that was just so specific and in one spot that I felt like I should show you guys so you know if it does bother you. All right, on this second look, I want to keep it a little bit simpler, and I also want to use pink on my lids because that will help hide the staining from the first look. I'm going to go into the shade Radioactive on the NABLA large shader brush, and I'm going to put that from my lash line and just head upward. The texture of that is so gorgeous. It's like this little hint of shimmer in these makes them, like, in a way more versatile, I think, because they do act like a matte if you want to use them like a matte, but also they like give the nicest little bit of sheen on the lid. I just think they're so lovely. I also wouldn't have thought I liked the satin white in the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. Maybe I like satin eyeshadow and I thought I didn't. I'm just gonna take a clean blending brush and just blend the edge of that out. All right, I concealed, and now for the lower half, I want to go into the shade Radon. Like I said, very, very simple color blocking with this look. What inspired me to do it this way is actually a lot of the girls that were at the Melt launch party for this were wearing their lips with the new shades that came out along with this collection. So I figured I would emulate that with a palette because, hello, the colors are in there. That's why they did that. So I'm just taking Radon on a pencil brush. I'm just going to pack that along the lower lashes. Okay, that is not really working well for some reason. I'm wondering if it's because I put a little bit of powder and it doesn't do well over another powder. So I'm just going to wipe that off and reconceal because the pigment was like not grabbing and it looked just patchy and weird and just really wasn't doing it for me. So let's see if I just put it straight over concealer if that works. Oh, much better. Okay. Okay, so definitely do not powder or set your primer before using at least this shade, because that just did not work well at all, my friends. All right, I mean, you probably could have guessed. You definitely probably already guessed. You knew what I was gonna use my waterline. I'm gonna go through the waterline with my Urban Decay liner pencil in Torch. It's like, at this point, I'm like finding excuses to use an orange pencil in my waterline. How could somebody possibly just end up using an orange pencil in their waterline so many damn times? I don't know. So I thought a cool way to highlight the inner corner with this look, but still keep it kind of color blocked, would be to highlight with yellow. So I'm gonna go into the shade Neon, and I'm gonna hammer that into my inner corner with a pencil brush. Just get it in there. Initially, I was considering doing a wing with this look, but I think it'd be more interesting without it. You can totally add a wing to it though, if that's like what suits your fancy. Personally, I'm going to just add a very, very thin line of liner along my upper lash line so that my false lashes have something to sit on without looking kind of out of place. It just makes it easier to make your lashes mesh with your look and make more sense. Then we will change out this lip. Although, if you wanted to, you could totally just wear it with this lip. All right, I'm having some issues right now because this eye will not stop watering, and it's making the shadow on my lid separate a lot, and it looks terrible. It doesn't look good, which is really unfortunate because before that started happening, I loved the way this pink looked on the lid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a minute and I'm gonna try to let my eyes stop watering and see if after that's the case that I could touch it up a little bit. So I'm gonna do my lip first and then I'll come back and try to get the eyes to look the way they did before they started watering. Like, look at that. What the f? My lip, it won't stop. Why? Oh my God, I cannot believe how bad that lid looks. Both sides, both sides. Why? I did not purchase the new neon liquid lipsticks from Melt to go along with this collection, but I'm gonna do my best with what I have. So I'm gonna use the Kat Von D Miss Argentina and the Kat Von D shade Malice. All right, for the most part, I was able to clean it up a little bit to the point where it's decent. My eye is still watering again now, so it's not going to last, but at least I was able to get it to look nice long enough to get a close-up of it, so I'll consider that a win. If you're going to recreate this tutorial, I highly recommend skipping the part where your eyes water and it ruins the entire thing. Just a suggestion. But anyway, this is the second look. So after using this palette, I definitely have some thoughts. Now, the first look, I found that I had a very easy time, that every shadow I used was absolutely incredible. I didn't struggle with anything, everything blended beautifully, nothing seemed patchy, nothing seemed powdery. For the second look though, I used these three shades from the original stack, and you know, honestly, I don't think that I'm as impressed with them as I usually am with Melt shadows. The pink shade Radioactive is incredible. It's beautiful, it's smooth, but I have to say that although the real issue is my watery eye, the shadow shouldn't move that much just because my eye watered a little. It's not like my eye was like dripping with tears. And like, I know because I live with watery eyes all the time that usually like I'll get a little creasing if that happens, but it doesn't absolutely destroy the entire look, you know? Obviously, I'm not gonna say this palette is crap because my eye was watering, because it's like the fault of my eye, obviously. It just seemed like maybe they were a little bit less tenacious when wet than a lot of shadows are. I also did notice that Radon was a little bit difficult to work with. Like I said, I had powdered underneath my eyes first and it basically just didn't apply initially. And the bright yellow shade Neon, it was really nice when first applied, but it's like faded so much just in the time that I've been sitting here. It's like not nearly as bright as it was when I first applied it. So I was a little bit disappointed in those two shades and a little bit curious if maybe they don't hold up as well under life conditions as a lot of shadows will, but the other ones are absolutely stunning. Like, shockingly stunning, like so good. So I still like this palette. I still had a lot of fun playing with it, and I'm still glad that I got in there when it launched and purchased it. I will be using these shades again for sure, but as far as how much I usually like fall crazy in love with a melt palette, I would say that I'm only half in love with this one. Just let me know in the comments if you have the original stack. Did you find the same thing with that? Have you purchased this one and did you feel the same way that I did? I'm so curious to hear what your experience with it was. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a moment to do that, because it's very helpful to me and I really appreciate it. And also, if you are new around here, go ahead and subscribe, because when my eyes aren't watering, these looks usually go pretty well. If you would like to keep up with me between videos, see behind the scenes, PR unboxings, lip art, more intricate makeup looks, go ahead and find me on Instagram. I'm at Miss Quinface over there, and I would love to have you part of that little family as well. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.